वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः। एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्ताः स्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया पर्युपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्। सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धया ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धरता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ज्ञानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी। सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः। समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः। तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः। ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्दधाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में मेरी अपनी ही आत्माओं। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता भगवान के मुखारबिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है, और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है, वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है।
यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्णो यत पाठो धनुधरः तत्र श्रीविजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवानीतिर्मतिर्मम। यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्णो यत पाठो धनुधरः तत्र श्रीविजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवानीतिर्मतिर्मम। यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्णो यत पाठो धनुधरः तत्र श्रीविजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवानीतिर्मतिर्मम। Wherever there is Krishna, the Lord of Yoga and Bharat, the archer, assured is their prosperity, victory, glory, and sound policy. This is my conviction. Bhagavad Geeta Vishwasa Sahita Naraparta और अपराता है प्रभु दर्शन कर परिवार सहित भवसागर से तर जाता है इसलिए सदा सत्संग करो इसलिए सदा सत्संग करो सत्य नियम भंग मत कभी करो भगवान तुम्हारे अंदर है नित्य नाम हरि का लिया करो नित्य नाम हरि का लिया करो भगवद गीता विश्वास सहित नर परता और पढ़ता है प्रभु दर्शन कर परिवार सहित भवसागर से तर जाता है इसलिए सदा सत्संग करो इसलिए सदा सत्संग करो सत्य नियम भंग मत कभी करो भगवान तुम्हारे अंदर है नित्य नाम हरि का लिया करो नित्य नाम हरि का लिया करो पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 That is full, this is full. Fullness comes from fullness. Take fullness from fullness. The remainder is full. We are complete perfect and full of love. Nothing is insignificant. Nothing is smaller than anything else. The part represents the whole, just as the seed contains the whole. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev Maharaj, Jai Geeta Mataji. Happy New Year. Stay blessed for the new year and forever.
Vasudevasutam devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. First, I would like to wish everyone a very happy new year. Last month and a happy new year coming on this Saturday is the Chinese New Year, I believe. So may we all be blessed with spiritual progress, good health and happiness in the new year and beyond. On behalf of Swami Geeta Kiran ji, Guru Bhai Joshi ji, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you and to thank you for being with us tonight. My apologies for having missed out for the last 2 weeks. Sometimes things do happen. Also, on another note, I don't know if you saw his email, Joshi ji, Dr. Prasad ji is not able to make it tonight. So, I'll let you handle it from here, Joshi ji.
You mean Kapoor sir?
Oh, oh, you're right. Dr. Prasad, आप मेरे लफ्जों पर है, क्या करूं मैं?
Thank you very much.
Go ahead, Joshi ji.
धन्यवाद पीटर जी, आप सब लोगों को भी धन्यवाद. Thanks to all of you. We are going to be missing Dr. Narendra Kapoor ji because he's a very busy and active devotee in New York. So we will have 5-10 minutes in case Ramesh Khemlani ji wants to share after I finish my explanation. Ramesh ji, if you hear me, if you are willing, we will have 5-10 minutes for you today.
Yeah, sure. I'll be appreciated.
So dear friends, again, welcome to this blessed and beautiful Thursday, Guruvar. As I mentioned last week, that we will have Gurudev's birthday celebration in Geeta Dham, and we have a very, very beautiful topic of the conference, which we celebrate on the Gurudev's birthday every year. We call it International Gita Conference, and many established and highly talented speakers on Bhagavad Gita join and share their blessings to the audience. As I mentioned, it is 16th chapter, Devya and Asura Sampad Vibhag Yoga. The discussion of divine qualities and demonic qualities. And beautifully, in the first 3 chapters, Sri Krishna explains to Arjuna about 26 virtues in a devotee which can put him in divine category, and about 6 negative attributes that put a person in the demonic categories. Remember, it is 16th chapter. And in 15th chapter, Sri Krishna has told, if you understand everything as told in the 15th chapter, that nothing else needs to be known, to be learned. Yet on 16th chapter, he brings it back up. He clearly mentions, are you in the group of Pandavas or are you in the group of Kauravas? The entire Bhagavad Gita is talking about the fight and distinction between Pandavas' qualities and Kauravas' qualities. And in 3rd chapter and various other chapters, he has mentioned many things that we should be careful. Kama esva, krodha esva, rajogun, samudbhava, mahasana, mahapapma, etc., etc. They are demonic qualities. He brings it back again in the 16th chapter. The beauty of Bhagavad Gita is that simple quality has been mentioned and bombarded on the devotee who wants to be divine in nature again and again in a very subtle way. A simple thing mentioned in the 3rd chapter is brought again in the 6th chapter and 6th verse. You are your best friend and you can be your worst enemy. So again, putting yourself in the divine side, you are your best friend. And if you somehow accidentally get into those 16th negative qualities, you are your worst enemy, or you can be in the group of Kauravas. It's a very beautiful chapter. It will be discussed at the conference. I request all of you to plan to join if you can. If you cannot, then there will be possibility of a Zoom or a recorded minutes of the conference. So, covering the first 4 verses of 16th chapter, we'll talk more 3-4 verses in next week. With that said, I want to request Ramesh ji from Jaipur or Pune to please share your experience, your feelings, and I'm sure you will be there in Gita Dham. And I'm very sure Swami Gita Kiran will be there too. I'd love to see you there. Okay, Ramesh ji, please.
जय श्री कृष्ण। आप सबको पता है गीता कितनी प्यारी चीज है। सब लोग पढ़ना चाहते हैं, सब लोग जानना चाहते हैं कि भगवान क्या कह रहे हैं भगवद गीता के अंदर। लेकिन टाइम की वजह से सब लोग इतने बिजी हैं, सुबह से रात तक बहुत कोशिश करते हैं कि गीता हाथ में आए, लेकिन आती नहीं है। लेकिन ये भाग्य से मिलती है। अभी देखिए सिस्टर विलाय ने काफी लोगों को भेजा होगा लिंक, लेकिन आते कितने हैं? नॉट मोर देन 20। तो ये भी भगवान की अपार कृपा है कि ये 20 जो हैं ये पिलर है भगवान के। उनको पता है कि हमको क्या मिलने वाला है गीता से। भगवान से इतना प्यार है कि सुबह सर्दी में भी, अगर जो इंडिया में है तो सुबह उठना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है सर्दी में। जब 5 बजे उठेंगे तभी 6 बजे तैयार होके बैठेंगे। लेकिन भगवान से प्यार है, उनको पता है गीता क्या है। मैं ज्यादा नहीं बोलूंगा, कुछ श्लोक हैं गीता के अंदर जो रिसाइट करते रहते हैं हम लोग। 10वें अध्याय का 3रा श्लोक, भगवान साफ कहते हैं 2 अक्षर, मैं अजन्मा और जन्म रहित। ये 2 चीजें जो जान लेता है कि भगवान जन्म नहीं लेते हैं, भगवान प्रकट होते हैं। सब लोग को डाउट होता है कि माँ देवकी का आज तक पता है उसकी माँ है, लेकिन उसके अंदर हवा भरी हुई थी, उसको पता नहीं था। जब भगवान प्रकट हुए तो वो नॉर्मल हो गई। माँ भी खुश हो गई कि मैंने जन्म दिया है, और भगवान को प्रकट होना था, वो प्रकट हो गए। इसी तरह से ये गीता जो है, एक एक श्लोक उसके अंदर जब जाते हैं, पढ़ते हैं, महसूस करते हैं कि कर्म क्या सिखाती है, भक्ति क्या सिखाती है, ज्ञान क्या सिखाती है, तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट श्लोक था और बहुत सिंपल श्लोक है कि जो मुझे अजन्मा जानता है, जन्म रहित जानता है। अब जो सच्चाई है उसको जानने में क्या तकलीफ है? अभी हम याद करें प्रभु को सच्चे मन से, प्रभु मेरे सामने खड़े हो जाएंगे। हाँ, आपको इतना विश्वास होना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये भक्ति है। मीरा ने प्यार किया, मीरा याद करती थी दिल से, हृदय से पुकारती थी, आ गए प्रभु उनके सामने, सुदामा के सामने आ गए। ऐसे बहुत सबको सबको पता है कि प्रभु क्या नहीं कर सकते हैं। मैंने अपना अपना मिसाल बताया था लास्ट टाइम कि एक लड़की का ऑपरेशन हो रहा था। उसकी माँ ने मुझे बोला कि मेरी बेटी बहुत बीमार है, डॉक्टरों ने 48 आवर्स दिए, प्रे करो। तो आप क्या करोगे? जो आपके हाथ में है, जो आपको भगवान गुरुजी ने सिखाया है, जो आपने गीता के अंदर पाया है, गीता के अंदर विश्वास है, आपको दृढ़ विश्वास है कि भगवान मेरे लाज रखेंगे। अगर मैं कुछ बोलूंगा तो भगवान मेरी लाज रखेंगे, क्योंकि आपका दृढ़ निश्चय है, दृढ़ प्यार है। तो भगवान तो भक्तों के हाथ में होते हैं। ये भी लेन देन है, जैसे दूसरा दुनिया में लेन देन होती है, तो ये भी लेन देन है। प्रभु आप मेरा काम करो, मैं आपका काम करूंगा। आप कहते हो गीता का प्रचार करो, मैं गीता का प्रचार करूंगा। मैं जहां जाता हूँ कुछ नहीं बोलता हूँ, सबको यही बोलता हूँ जैसे गुरुजी बोलते थे, गीता पढ़ो, गीता पढ़ो, गीता पढ़ो, गीता पढ़ो। जो पढ़ेगा वो पाएगा। अंदर खजाने भरे हुए हैं, लेकिन जब तकलीफ आती है तब भगवान को याद करते हैं। ये बहुत गलत है। थोड़ा टाइम सुबह शाम को 5 मिनट हाथ में गीता उठाया, एक श्लोक पढ़ा, जो श्लोक आए वो समझ लो वो तुम्हारे नसीब का प्रसाद है। अब देखिए मैं गीता खोल रहा हूँ, 9वां अध्याय आ गया। श्री भगवान बोले, तुम दोष दृष्टि रहित भक्त के लिए इस परम गोपनीय विज्ञान सहित ज्ञान को पुनः बलि बांत कहूंगा। है क्या? सिंपल सिंपल हिंदी है, लेकिन इसके अंदर ऐसे ऐसे लिखे हुए हैं अक्षर गीता के कि उसको खोजना पड़ता है। इसका मतलब क्या है? तुझे दोष दृष्टि, आप जब कोई भी काम करते हैं तो उसमें डाउट मत कीजिए। संशय किया तो गए काम से। संशय रहित होना चाहिए, तब आप आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। दोष दृष्टि भक्त के लिए इस गोपनीय विज्ञान सहित ज्ञान को पुनः बलि बात कहूंगा, जिसको जानकर तो दुख रूप संसार से मुक्त हो जाएगा। आप कर क्या रहे हो और आपको कितनी बड़ी मुक्ति मिल रही है। जो हम ये दुख भरी सुबह से रात तक, एक दुख जाता है 10 आते हैं, तो भगवान इधर एश्योरेंस देते हैं, अगर तुमने हाथ में गीता उठाई, गीता पढ़ी, मेरा कहना माना तो दुख रहित हो जाओगे। बताइए, यह विज्ञान सहित ज्ञान सब विद्याओं का राजा, सब गोपनीयों का राजा, अति पवित्र, अति उत्तम, प्रत्यक्ष फल वाला, धर्म युक्त साधन करने में बड़ा सुगम और अविनाशी है। अब देखिए, मैं बार बार बोलता हूं, जो जाएगा वो पाएगा। आप बीज डालते हो खेत में, 1 साल के बाद उसका फल मिलता है। इधर भगवान आपको अश्योरेंस दे रहे हैं, तो अभी पढ़ो, तुमको अभी मिलेगा प्रत्यक्ष। आप एक बार करके तो देखो, आप जाके तो देखो, आप भगवान का कहना मान के तो देखो। क्या तकलीफ है? और कितनी 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 बातें बताइए, 2 श्लोक में बोल दी। एक तो प्रत्यक्ष बोल दिया, दूसरा बोल दिया ये पवित्र है। आप उससे दोस्ती करने जा रहे हो जो पूरे सृष्टि का मालिक है। फिर क्या कहते हैं? ये धर्म युक्त है। हर इंसान को धर्म चाहिए। अधर्म तो आपको पता है अधोगति में लेके जाएगा, और धर्म आपको परम गति पे लेके जाएगा। अब ये इंसान के ऊपर है कि वो कहाँ जाना चाहता है। अधोगति में जाने के लिए गुरु की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है, परम गति में जाने के लिए गुरु की जरूरत पड़ती है। गीता तो सब पढ़ सकते हैं, लेकिन गीता के अंदर जाने के लिए गुरु की जरूरत पड़ती है। हम लोग का भाग्य है, हम लोग के सबके, कि हमारे ऐसे गुरु मिले हैं जिन्होंने हमको अंधकार से रोशनी में डाल दिया है, जो आज तक हम लोग एंजॉय कर रहे हैं। बताइए, ये क्या है? हम लोग बैठे हैं अभी आपस में, ये एंजॉयमेंट तो है। दिल खुश हो जाती है एक दूसरे को देखते हैं तो, आत्मा तृप्त हो जाती है। भगवान से जितनी बातें करना चाहते हैं सत्संग में कर सकते हैं, दिल खोल के कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि भगवान अपने हैं। एक बार मान लिया आपने भगवान को, तो भगवान की जिम्मेदारी हो गई आप सबकी रक्षा करने के लिए। प्रत्यक्ष है, पवित्र है, धर्म युक्त है। बताइए, और क्या चाहिए? हे परम तप, इस उपयुक्त धर्म में श्रद्धा रहित पुरुष मुझको न प्राप्त होकर मृत्यु रूप संसार में भ्रमण करते रहते हैं। सब लोग कहते हैं क्या है, भगवान है ही नहीं। आसुरी स्वभाव वाले यही तो बोलते हैं। देवी संपदा वालों को पता है कि भगवान क्या है। आसुरी वाला कहता है भगवान तो है ही नहीं, मैंने तो देखा ही नहीं है। ये सब झूठी बातें हैं। तो संशय से भरे रहते हैं, तो उनका काम भी वैसे ही होता है। जो संशय रहता है उसका कल्याण होता रहता है। श्रद्धा रहित पुरुष मुझको न प्राप्त होकर मृत्यु रूप संसार में भ्रमण करते रहते हैं। मुझ निराकार परमात्मा से यह सब जगत जल से बर्फ के सदृश परिपूर्ण है, और सब भूत मेरे अंतर्गत संकल्प के आधार स्थित हैं, किंतु वास्तव में मैं उसमें स्थित नहीं हूँ। वे सब भूत मुझ में स्थित नहीं है। पूरी भगवत गीता के अंदर भगवान बार बार ये बोलते हैं, मैं हूं, मैं नहीं हूं, मैं हूं, मैं नहीं हूं। हर इंसान पजल हो जाता है कि क्या है भगवान, कौन सा खेल खेल रहे हो। बार बार बोलते रहते हो कभी मैं हूं, कभी मैं नहीं हूं, क्या मतलब है? आप हो ये तो मुझे पता है, लेकिन नहीं हो इसका क्या मतलब है? तो ये तो इसकी व्याख्या तो आपको गुरु ही बता सकेंगे कि भगवान के मन में क्या है। मैं हूं भी, मैं नहीं भी हूं। 9वें अध्याय के 29 श्लोक में भगवान ने लिखा है साफ, सब मेरे भक्त, मैं सबके अंदर विराजमान हूं, न मुझे कोई प्रिय है न कोई मुझे अप्रिय है। ये दूसरी बात बोल रहे हैं, बताइए। कंफ्यूज करने में तो भगवान बहुत होशियार है ना। मैं हूं भी, मैं नहीं भी हूं। मैं सबको सबको प्यार करता हूं। और ये श्लोक तो बहुत बड़ा श्लोक है, 9वें अध्याय का 29वां श्लोक। गुरु जी बोलते थे कि जिसको भी पैसा चाहिए, अगर गीता से प्यार नहीं है, आपको पैसे से प्यार है, तो गीता के 9वें अध्याय का 29 श्लोक पढ़ो, आपकी तिजोरियां बढ़ जाएगी, पैसे रखने की जगह नहीं होगी। इतनी मेहनता बता दी थी इस श्लोक की। मैं सबके अंदर हूं, न मुझे कोई प्रिय है न कोई मुझे अप्रिय है। जो मुझे जैसे बचता है मैं उसे वैसे बचता हूं। अब बताइए, भगवान अगर आपको भजेंगे, तो भगवान अगर आपके घर पे आते हैं तो भगवान अकेले तो आएंगे नहीं, माँ लक्ष्मी के साथ आएंगे। और माँ लक्ष्मी अगर आपके घर पे आ गई तो वो स्थायी हो जाएगी, जाएगी नहीं वो।
जय हो।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
वेरी वेल, बहुत अच्छा बताया, थैंक यू वेरी मच। आपने लोगों को तिजोरियों भरने का तरीका बता दिया है, तो लगता है सबकी तिजोरियां भर जाएंगी। नाउ एवरीबॉडी विल बी रिच। थैंक यू
थैंक
रमेश, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू थैंक यू।
नाउ आई रिक्वेस्ट our esteemed Professor Dr. U. Prasad ji to please take in the phone.
Thank you very much, Joshi ji. Thank you very much. Let me start with the prayer to Bhagwan and Gurudev. Vansi Vibhushitakara Navanirdava Pitambara Darunabimbaphaladarostar Purnendu Sundaramukha Arvind Netra Krishnat Param Kimapi Tattvamaham न जाने अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev to all the devotees present today. You all know we are going towards the end of chapter 5. Last week we covered verse 24, 25, and 26. In these verses, you must have noticed that there is one key word which has been repeated in all three of them. And that is Brahma Nirvana. This appears in verse 26. It also appears in verse 25, Brahma Nirvana. And also in verse 24, Brahma Nirvana. You also notice that in these three verses, this Brahma Nirvana, which is the highest state one can reach after going through all kinds of sadhana, that is the highest goal achievable. That is state of liberation from material existence. Once we liberate from material existence, there is automatic in union with Lord, that is Brahma Bhuta. Now, this is not for ordinary people. This is not for those who have not been practicing all kinds of yogic activity as prescribed by Bhagwan. They are for specifically high-level people, meditators, those who are jnani, those who have reached the pinnacle of their tapasya. So Bhagwan has used another word for them, that is either he is a yogi. So yogi Brahma Nirvana Gachati. You find in verse 24. When you go to 25, he says, Rishaya, the holy person, Rishaya Brahma Nirvana Gachati. So there is a holy person involved there. And when we talk about verse 26, he uses the word Yati Nam, that is the saintly person, the monks and ascetics. So you see, the word Brahma Nirvana is associated with yogi, the saints, yatinam, rishayah, all those very high graded people. But it is not that we should not strive for that and we cannot achieve that. No, Bhagavan has given all these things to give us or to stimulate us or bring in us that kind of motivation so that we can achieve that. Because that is the goal achievable. Many saints and sages, of course, Maharaji was already a liberated person. And there are many saints and sages nowadays you can find who have reached that stage. So it is not that we, the disciples of Gurudev, we those who are practicing, who are studying and practicing Bhagavad Gita, learning the technique and trying to achieve that cannot achieve. Yes, we can achieve. So we should know what are the requirements, what are the teachings Bhagwan is telling for those who have reached that state. Once we know that state to be reached, once we know the various practices, various qualifications, various requirements for achieving that goal or the ladders on which one can go step by step and reach that highest level of the ladder, that is Bhagwan giving in these verses towards the end of chapter 5, because you will see is preparing us or preparing the devotees or those who are studying Bhagavad Gita for the chapter 6, which is the yoga of Atma Sanyama Yoga, yoga of meditation, Dhyana Yoga, Atma Sanyam Yoga, that is coming next. So here, towards the end of chapter 5, Bhagavan is giving those attributes which one should attain and reach that stage which is called Brahma Nirvana, that is the stage of liberation from material existence. One point I will make, which last week I might not have made very clear, that here Bhagavan is using the word abhitaha. This abhitaha means either way. Of course, there are some commentators who talks about all sides, but Adi Sankara has very clearly makes it to know this as either way. Which means that if the person or the sages or saints or yatinam, they have achieved all these, which we have mentioned last week, they can become Jivan Mukta, that means while living. Jivan Mukta is a person who has given up all the association with material existence and already they are one with Brahma, but still they are serving the masses or performing actions for others, not for oneself. Selfless, Yagyartha karma and others, they are doing, but they are still surviving. But Deha Mukta is another stage, which is after as dies, he is not returned again. He his lives the mortal remains and is not born again. Both of them, Jivan Mukta also, they do not take rebirth. Videha Mukta also do not take rebirth. But the Videha Mukta are those who, as they die, then they become liberated. They do not get rebirth. Because what happens, that these group of people, they have certain prarabdha which they have not been able to exhaust in this world. As you will find, there are saints and sages who gets cancer here, cancer there, and they go through lots of trials and trials because they had not by that time, they had not prarabdha ko mita nahi sake the. They had still prarabdha to be taken care of. So they suffered and prarabdha gone, and once they die, they are not reborn. So that is little difference one should just understanding that one is Jivan Mukta and there is Videha Mukta. Moving on. As we move on to the next two verses, that is 27 and 28, they are taken together. And these are in these verses, you will find Bhagwan is preparing Arjuna to understand a state which is the Dhyana Yoga, which will come later on, and what are the issues, what are the things a person who is meditating has to go through in nutshell. He is giving a summary of what he is going to expand in chapter 6. In chapter 6, he is going to expand on these, but here he is giving kind of a summary of what he is going to describe in chapter 6. And what he says, let us go through. He says, Asprashana kritva bahirvangyas chakshuschaivantare bruvo pranapanau samo kritva nasavyantaracharino yatendriya manobuddhir munirmokshaparayana Vrigatekshāvaya krodo yah sada mukta eva sa. Let us go through the meaning of the words used here. He says, Bahyan Asprasan. That means external contact objects. Bahir Kritva. That keeping that outside. Keeping outside the external objects, the material objects outside, keep that away. Chakshu, eyes, Bhruvo antare, between the eyebrows. Try to put the vision between the two eyebrows. Prana, apana, that is outgoing and incoming breath. Samo kritva, keep equal. Equal when? Nasa abhyantara charino, moving within the nostrils. Yata, that was controlled. Indriya, mana, buddhi, senses, mind and intellect. Yaha muni, that says, who is moksha parayana, who is solely pursuing liberation. You see again, for this, Bhagwan is using another word, says. He has used Rishaya and he has used those who are trying to liberate themselves, here he has used those yatinam or rishayah, yogi. Here he is using the word muni. And that muni is moksha parayana. That means he is mumukshu. That he is trying, his whole purpose of carrying on all sadhana is to liberate, is pursuing liberation. Vigata, free from what? Desire, fear, and anger. All those things are already gone. That is sada mukta eva sa. He is certainly ever liberated. So there are number of things talked about in these two verses. Idea is that these are having all these things, one is certainly, if somebody has all these things, he is certainly liberated. Now let us examine each one of them. So meaning, let's go through the meaning first. He says, shutting out all thoughts of external enjoyment. That's one thing. With gaze fixed on the space between the eyebrows, equalizing the flow of incoming and outgoing breath in the nostrils, the sage, thus having controlled his senses, mind, and intellect, solely pursuing liberation, free from desire, fear, and anger, is certainly forever liberated. He is completely out of the cycle of taking birth and death. He is in the state of what is called Brahmic state. That is the Brahma Nirvana, which he has been talking about earlier in several verses. In this, Esha Brahmistati Prartha Nainam Prapi Vimungchati Sthitva Syamanta Kalepi Brahma Nirvana Mirkshati. You remember verse 72, the last verse of chapter 2. There also the word Brahma Nirvana comes. That is again meaning the same, that he is liberated, ever liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Now, if we take that into consideration one after another, there are 6 factors, 6 attributes which a person who is liberated, who has reached the state of liberation, they have. What they have done? They have completely got themselves disconnected with external contacts. No external, no disturbance, no factor from outside can disturb him. For him, even he is having contact, he is not affected. That doesn't touch him. He's completely disregarded any contact from outside world. That's number one. Because Bhagavan is going to talk about meditation, Atma Sanjam, he is describing a few things which is requirement for a person who is meditating. A meditator should be able to, he is talking about 2 things. One is Nasa Bhyantar Charino, and other is in front of the nose. Samam Kaya Siro Gribam Dharayan Achalam Spritam Samprekshan Asikagram Swam Disascha Navalokayan. If you remember verse 13 of chapter 6, it will come later on. But there he talks about Sampreksha Nasikagram Swam. That's the Nasikagram in front of the tip of the nose. And here he's talking about putting the gaze between the 2 eyebrows. Now the concept here is mind has to be completely under control. Mind should not waver. In order for the mind to bring to a state of non-wavering, these maneuvers are required. The whole purpose of sitting down and meditating is to quieten down the mind. The activity of mind must cease. And for ceasing, if there is no contact from outside, the mind will remain under control. If the gaze is fixed at one place, their mind will remain under control. If the flow of outgoing and ingoing breath through the two nostrils, they are equally balanced, the mind remains controlled. So that mana buddhi should be controlled. There should not be any desire. He has already overcome the desire, bhaya, krodh, or kama, krodh, or bhaya. He has all fully controlled. Sense, mind, and intellect are under control. So all these things required, they are able to pursue the path of meditation, and they will then have the state, what is called the state of liberation, and Jivan Mukta. This is all concentrated in two verses that Bhagwan has put them in one place, and he will expand on all these points when he talks about all these things in the next chapter, that is about chapter 6. Now, there is a last verse, is verse 29, and let me go through some part of it and see how far we can go. Bhagwan in the last verse, he is taking again, giving instruction to Arjuna that my devotee attains peace. He is giving a formula for Santi Mrikshati. Who among my devotees can attain peace? And he has given again 3 formulas. What he says? Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheswaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shanti mrikshati. Mam gyatva, knowing me. What? Bhoktaram yagya tapasam. I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities. Sarva loka maheswaram. I am the supreme Lord of all the worlds. Suhridam sarva bhutanam. I am the selfless friend of all living beings. If one has realized me like that, he will attain peace. So, what is happening here? Bhagwan is saying, my devotee can attain peace if he has Gyatva Mam Sarvalok Maheswaram. He has known me as Supreme Lord of all worlds. Gyatva Mam Surdam Sarvabhutanam. He has known me as the selfless friend of all beings. Gyatva Mam Bhoktaram Yagatapasam. He has known me as the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities. Now let us take one after another. Gyatva Mam Sarvaloka Maheswaram. Now, Bhagwan says, if somebody has understood that I am the Supreme Lord of all worlds, all loka, sarva loka. Now, what is the meaning of sarva loka? Sarva loka has some meaning which, as far as we can go, we can see how they are. One is, we know all the Gayatri mantra. That is, according to Vedic literature, we know of 3 loka. Bhur, bhuvaha, swaha. That is 3 loka. Bhuloka is the Prithvi, Bhuvaha is the Antariksha, and Swaha is Swarga. Now, all these 3, I will not go in very detail. The information is so much about all this, so packed information, but let us at this stage get a simple meaning of what is all this. When we talk of Prithvi, it is the physical state of here in the Mrityulok, that is so far consciousness is concerned, that all are levels of consciousness. One is the physical plane, The other is the plane of prana, and other is the plane of divine mind. One is Prithvi, other is Antariksh, and other is Swarga. So these three are Bhuloka is supposed to be the one we are here, and there is higher level, which is called intermediate space, which considers a Pran, Antariksha, and there is still higher, that is Swarga. This is the according to the Gayatri mantra. What does Gita says? Gita also talks about three loka, Mrityu loka, talks about Swarga loka, and also talk about Narak. So we have known very well this chapter 9, verse 2. Tetam bhuktva swarga lokam vishalam chine punye martya lokam vishanti evam trai dharma manu prapanna gata gatam kama kama lavante. Here is talking about Tetam bhukta, those who are having merit, they go to Swarga Loka, that is heavenly world. And that is Lord talked about. Vishalam, it is full of all pleasure, all of divine beauty, is divine kind life, enjoyment life, full of enjoyment. There is pleasure and happiness all the time. There is no distress, no dukkha there. But after having, if somebody has a merit, he's entitled to reach that level and have enjoyment all the time. But chine punye, once the merit is gone, that means the enjoyment period is gone, then martya lokam vishanti comes down to the human world after the merit is exhausted. So in this verse, he's talking about Swarga Loka and he's talking about Mrityu Loka. But then also talks about Narak Loka, that is 16th chapter, verse 21. Vividam narakasyedam dwaram nasanamatmanah kamah krodha tatha lobha tasmate tatrayam tyajet. Here it talks about hell, where the three gates are there. If you enter through any of these gates, you will be inside the hell. And that is the description of hell given here. One thing to be understood, that these hell or heaven or all these lokas are not that there is a physical place there that you lift up and go there. They're all in the air. They are all around, and beautiful description are found so that you describe all these. I think I am crossing a lot of, I'm going beyond time. Let me leave it for next week. I will tell you about a little bit of all these to give you some idea as to what are these loka and where we are, what Lord is talking about. Can I leave it here, Josiji?
Yeah.
Already it is 35.
Yeah, continue, please. Thank you.
We'll continue next week?
Yeah, please continue if you feel like.
Okay, thank you very much. Jai Sri Krishna. We will stop here. We'll continue next week.
Dr.
Okay.
Prasad ji, ये जो है ना, this example, if you say iti Shri Krishna arpanamastu shubham bhuyat, would that be a sufficient way for us to practically practice this, that we are, so we are offering it to God, Lord Krishna, who is the king of the whole world and Paramatma?
Yes. I will explain next week. I will explain this.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dineshji. Very nice of you.
Thank you.
And Dinesh, when you say the word Krishna Paramastu, if we can learn this art of giving everything into Krishna, everything will be so. But how to do it is the question. That's all Bhagavad Gita is telling, how to be vimukh of this Maya. When you are vimukh from this Maya, that means whatever you do is Krishna Paramastu.
Yeah.
And also, dear friends, we are almost at the completion of chapter 5. a very beautiful chapter and very beautifully explained by Dr. Prasadji. So if you have any question about chapter 5, you can send WhatsApp to Dr. Prasadji or to me or Swami Geeta Kiranji or Prajilji, and we will take 2 minutes to discuss those. Like what Dinesh brought up today. Anyone has any question from chapter 5 only, so please study that. It's a very, very beautiful chapter. Actually, all the chapters are beautiful. All the chapters will make us understand Brahma, Brahmarpanam. And once one switch out of 700 switches given in Bhagavad Gita is turned on, this life is done here, done.
In fact, chapter 5 and Bhakti, together you can realize God, I think. That's what my perception is, and Nishkam Karm and Bhakti. Because you see every God in everybody.
Now you don't have to worry about karma and bhakti separated together. Anyone will do. So we have some questions, and I'm sure Dr. Prasadji will be very happy to take up on this.
Sure, most welcome.
Swami Geeta Kiranji as well as our tribe, our friend Peterji is there. So send us your questions and concerns. We'll try to do our best. And we should have that. So next week will be a wonderful week. It's the culmination of chapter 5. I will also go back and study as much as I can, because there is no end to how much can you learn from Bhagavad Gita. If you think you have learned something, you will learn lots more. Every time you do, there is no end, there is no end. So with that, thank you all of you who joined us today. We missed Moti Mehra, she just came on, but I think she was busy. So with that, thank you all of you.
Thank you, Josiji. Thank
From
you,
my
everybody.
soul, from
Jai
my-
Sri Krishna, Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
You are muted. You want to say something, Geeta Kiranji?
Thank you, Josiji, and Happy Chinese New Year.
Yes.
Thank you. We love Chinese, their food, their people, and everything. Thank you. Thank you, Vinaji.
Thank you.
Jai
Jai
Shri
Shri Krishna
Krishna.
and
Jai
Jai
Shri
Gurudev.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes.
Amonji, if you can end the session if you are there. Amonji. I guess if he is not there, we'll all have to log out by ourselves. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.